Hey guys, Luke Chesek, Mount Rainier City Council. I represent Ward 1 and I'm trying to seek re-election to represent Ward 1 for another 4 years. I've told a lot of folks over the last few years that being on City Council is mostly an exercise in quality time management. What you get done is what you spend your time on. I learned a good lesson when I ran for office 4 years ago by having lunch with Brian Nedler, current City Council member. He served as mayor. He's just got a lot more experience in this role than I ever had. And he told me, Luke, sometimes when people become elected officials, they have 30 different priorities. But when 30 different things are important to you, nothing is. He told me to focus my attention on 2 to 3 things every year, and over the course of 4 years, you're going to see progress. And I really took that to heart. I took all the priorities that I had from my campaign 4 years ago that reflected what you told me were important when I was knocking on doors, and put them into 3 different buckets. Some were in the planning stages, like stormwater management, building an arts commission, redesigning Memorial Park in the 3300 block Rhode Island Avenue. Others were in the implementation phase, things I knew I could get done right away. Things like pushing through a complete overhaul of our trash and recycling system. Other things were in the execution phase, like selling 3200 Rhode Island Avenue to a developer who would build mixed-use development at Rhode Island and Eastern Avenue. Now, we got a lot done over the last 4 years, but this way of thinking, this way of prioritizing things over time, also served as the reason why I set up a strategic vision in August of 2019. And that strategic vision serves as the backbone of my campaign this go-round. And there are 3 broad themes to my strategic vision. Number 1, creating a vibrant downtown core. Think about when you are on a road trip. Think about the towns you stop in. Think about the places you want to hang out in. You hang out in them because they look cool. Their public spaces look nice. They've got a scene that you want to hang out in. And there's nothing that's stopping Mount Rainier from being just like that. Because let's face it, we're pretty cool. And we have a great opportunity to build a vibrant downtown core here along Rhode Island Avenue and 34th Street. And there are 3 core issues that I think will help us create a vibrant downtown core here. Number 1, execute on that redesign for the 3300 block of Rhode Island Avenue, including Memorial Park, to create a place where people can congregate at the vector of Rhode Island Avenue and 34th Street. Number 2, implement the 2010 mixed-use town center redesign of 34th Street. Instead of having sidewalks with concrete paths, have sidewalks that have street trees. Have a beautiful crosswalk at 34th and Bunker Hill that invites people and gives them the cue they need to hang out in Mount Rainier. Third, continue to invest in the Arts Commission legislation that I drafted 3 years ago. By investing in public art, you're going to create spaces that people want to be in. Second part of my strategic vision, investing in our diversity. We want to develop our downtown core, but we do not want that development to come at the expense of our diversity. That's why it's important that our Economic Incentive Fund invest equally in current businesses, many of which are owned by people of color, as in new businesses that want to set up shop in Mount Rainier. It's why we need to look at investments in things like community land trusts to make sure that low and middle income people can find housing in Mount Rainier. It's why we need to continue making investments in the community policing efforts we started 2 years ago and look at ways to fund alternative policing. Finally, a big part of my strategic vision is creating a sustainable Mount Rainier. Last year, I passed legislation creating a native plant network to encourage and educate residents on the importance of planting native. We need to execute on that legislation by helping to rewild as many of our yards as we can. We also need to keep implementing that stormwater master plan that I laid out 4 years ago so that we can continue to take our stormwater and filter it through our tree boxes as opposed to dumping them in our sewer drains. We also need to implement the city's bike master plan, which will start hopefully this year with our 2022 budget. Folks, making these investments is not easy. They don't just happen. But over the next 4 years, I'm going to spend my time making sure they do happen. Because these components of my vision reflect our values as a community. And if we're not spending our time on that, then what are we doing? Thank you.